All right, so sorry. Uh, Good evening, everyone. I'm very honored to be here today, standing in front to speak with you all. Change is a topic that resonates quite a bit with me. Just by being on this stage with all the spotlights, it's a big change for me. I usually do presentation to a smaller group of people about topics more related to my work. Now, there are many aspects to discuss about change, and today, with a 10 minutes time, we cannot cover all of them. But what I want you guys to take out today is to embrace the change, keep an open mind to it. Now, before we dive in deeper, I want you all to just take a brief moment to think about one question. What separates us humans from the other living organisms and non-living things? Now let's take a look at it in a different, let's take a look at a more relevant context to today's topic. Living organisms, including us human beings, we go through change, we go through transformation and growth independently. Non-living things require external forces to be transformed. One distinctive trait that us humans have is the ability to think, reason, anticipate, prepare, and possibly plan for change. Now, change is one of the many constants in the universe, and yet it often catches us off guard. It can be destructive, unsettling, and even terrifying at times. Fear, resistance, and uncertainty are the common reactions that we face when confronted with change. We fear the unknowns as it is a departure from the familiar settings. We resist leaving our comfort zone because we require a sense of security. We grapple with uncertainty because it forces us to confront unpredictability of life itself. Now, what if we view change not as a threat, but as an adventure waiting to be unfolded, giving us the experience to shape our lives differently? Change inevitably plays a part in our lives. From the moment we are born, our lives are in constant flux. Whether it's your career, your relationship, your family, or the world and society around us, change touches every aspect of our life. Now, I'm going to tell you my personal experience with change very quickly, and I'm sure some of you share a similar experience. I moved a lot since I was a baby, between cities in Malaysia, and from 8 years old, I was here in Guangzhou and start moving to other countries as well. I didn't get to graduate from high school before I started university. I worked as an intern longer than most of the people. And I get to work in different countries, even for a brief moment of time. Now, as a kid, I didn't have any control over all these changes. Most of the time, my parents make the decisions, and we just go along with it. It often makes me feel very frustrated, depressed, and confused, because we have to deal with new environment, with new people and new settings. Now, my parents had to go through the fear and resistance as well, just the way we did. But as we start to get used to the environment, we start to make new friends, we start to know places around, we start to explore, and also start to understand other people's culture, and the best of all, trying new cuisines. Now, change, as we embrace it, it's not about blindly taking whatever is coming at us. It is more about recognizing that with every challenge, there is an opportunity. While we may not have any control over the external forces that shapes our life or change our life, we have the ability to control how we respond to them. Now, not all changes are good and positive. So that is when we have to start to be open-minded. We have to hold ourselves together at times and seek for support when needed to. 塞翁失马，焉知非福? The old man who lost a horse. It's a Chinese allegory that talks about a different take, view, and perspective on gains and loss. So the story protagonist, Sai Wong, he is an old man who owns a horse stable, and he lost a horse one day. The neighbors came around to comfort him, and yet he says, might be a good thing. Now, months later, the horse came back, but brought along with a fine horse. The neighbors came around this time and congratulated him, and he said, hey, this might not be a good thing. He's getting worried. Very soon, his son took the horse out for a horse ride, the fine horse, and came back with a broken leg. The neighbors came back again and comforted him. And as you can guess it, this time he was saying again, it might be a good thing. Very soon, a war broke out, and many young men were drafted to the battlefield and ended up dying. Sai Wong's son lived because of his disability. Now, this story reminds us to keep an open mind because we don't know what might just be at the corner. We always have plans for something, whether it's going to be your next date, your college application, your career path, life planning. But change may just come knocking on your door unexpectedly. 计划赶不上变化，变化赶不上上帝的一句话. This is a Chinese saying. Now, just to be clear first, I'm not religious, but this saying is talking about planning cannot catch up with changes, and changes cannot catch up with God's will. We always make alternative plans. We make backup plans for certain situation. So we always hear about plan A, plan B, and plan C. And sometimes no matter how well you plan it, it just may not work out the way you want it to. Sometimes it's just whatever looks good in the surface, just not as good as you think it is. Sometimes a missed turn might just bring you to a new and amazing scenery. We face bottlenecks at any given point of time. We will start to feel that we cannot break through the situation no matter how much effort we put in and whatever we do. We often try to tackle issues with the methods that we know or tactics developed by some old folks with their experience. But always remember, one size does not fit all. We have to change the way we think and the way we counter those problems. When we exhaust all the measures, maybe it's time to defy the convention and try new methods. Changes happen all the time, whether you want it or not. And always remember as well, it is not the end of the world when things just don't go the way you want it to. When there are mistakes and losses, everything shall pass. Everyone will get through. There are always valuable lessons to learn from them. And it is the outcomes with the process and the experiences that's going to teach us to be a bit more wiser and more resilient. So the next time you face the change, it will be having a less impact at you. One thing we want to do is to let the fear, the resistance, and uncertainty impact us lesser. Now, this is what I want to share with you guys today. So I hope you will be able to find the treasure within all this one day. Thank you.